Total BS what happened to Trump. Let's watch a news conference that he held right after getting found guilty on all charges.
Very much, everybody. This is a case where if they can do this to me, they can do this to anyone. And these are bad people. These are, in many cases, I believe, sick people.
Sick people.
When you look at our country, what's happening, where millions and millions of people are flowing in from all parts of the world, not just South America.
Horrible.
From Africa, from Asia, from the Middle East. And they're coming in from jails and prisons. And they're coming in from mental institutions and insane asylums. They're coming in from all over the world into our country. And we have a president and a group of fascists that don't want to do anything about it.
It's a fucking joke.
Right now, today, he could stop it. But he's not. They're destroying our country. Our country is in very...
Because the current administration is about as corrupt as it gets. They suck. Everything they stand for sucks. They're all a bunch of lying piece of shits. Period.
Very bad shape. And raise your taxes by 4 times.
It's a sick joke.
They want to stop you from having cars with their ridiculous mandates that make it impossible for you to get a car or afford a car.
Amen to that.
Make it very possible for China to build all of our cars. It's a very serious problem that we have. We just went through one of many experiences where we had a conflicted judge, highly conflicted. There's never been a more conflicted judge. Now, I'm under a gag order, which nobody's ever been under. No presidential candidate's ever been under a gag order before.
God. They're doing everything they can to stop him from winning. Everything. And it's not going to work. He's still going to win. Period. He's still going to win.
I'm under a gag order, nasty gag order, where I've had to pay thousands of dollars in penalties and fines and was threatened with jail.
Wow.
Think of it. I'm the leading candidate. I'm leading Biden by a lot, and I'm leading the Republicans to the point where that's over. So I'm the leading person for president, and I'm under a gag order.
Sick.
By a man that can't put 2 sentences together.
Every time I see Biden, if that's who he's, I don't know if he's talking about the judge or Biden, but Biden looks like the walking death. Okay, it's the worst president in the history of the world. Even worse than Jimmy Carter.
Given by a court, and they are in total conjunction with the White House and the DOJ, just so you understand. This is all done by Biden and his people.
Oh, no doubt.
And maybe his people more importantly. I don't know if Biden knows too much about it.
Biden doesn't know anything about nothing.
I don't know if he knows about anything.
Exactly. He's senile about a motherfucker.
The president, so we have to use his name. And this is done by Washington, and nobody's ever seen anything like it. So we have a judge who's highly conflicted. You know what the confliction is. Nobody wants to write about it, and I'm not allowed to talk about it. If I do, he said, I get put in.
Here it is. Corruption. That's the confliction, right? Pure and utter corruption at its finest.
Jail. So we'll play that game a little bit longer. We won't talk about it, but you're allowed to talk about it.
Oh, you better. Believe it.
Because there's never been anybody so conflicted as this. As far as the trial itself, it was very unfair.
Total.
We weren't allowed to use our election expert under any circumstances. You saw what happened to some of the witnesses that were on our side. They were literally crucified by this man who looks like an angel, but he's really a devil. He looks so nice and soft.
Yeah.
People say, oh, he seems like such a nice man. No, unless you saw him in action. And you saw that with a certain witness that went through hell.
Yep.
And when we wanted to do things, he wouldn't let us do those things. But when the government wanted
what this country's
they got
going
everything. They
What's
got
here right
everything
now?
they wanted.
It's a joke.
It was a rigged trial. We wanted a venue change.
Yep.
Where we could have a fair trial. We didn't get it. We wanted a judge change. We wanted a judge that wasn't conflicted. And
it wasn't
obviously
corrupt.
He didn't do that.
Corrupt.
Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We had a DA who was a failed DA, Crime is rampant in New York, violent crime. That's what he's really supposed to be looking at. Crime is rampant in New York.
This is all ploy
Yesterday
to stop
in
you.
McDonald's, you had a man
It's not going to happen, though.
hitting him up with machetes, a machete. Whoever can imagine even a machete being wielded in a store, in a place where they're eating, and he's going rampant. And Bragg is down watching a trial on what they call crimes. They're falsifying business records. That sounds so bad. To me, it sounds very bad. You know, it's only a misdemeanor, but to me, it sounds so bad when they say falsifying business. That's a bad thing for me. I've never had that before.
Yeah.
I'm falsifying. You know what
I
falsifying
know what you mean,
business
brother.
records
Pretty
is?
soon
In
I'm going to share it with the world.
They say falsifying business records. Sounds so good, right? It means that legal expense. I paid a lawyer, totally legal. I paid a lawyer a legal expense. And a bookkeeper, without any knowledge from me, correctly marked it down in the books. A very professional woman, highly respected. She testified. This is what the falsification of business records were.
Unbelievable.
And I said, what else are you going to call it? What else are you going to call it? Now, I would have testified. I wanted to testify. The theory is you never testify, because as soon as you testify, anybody, if it were George Washington, don't testify, because they'll get you on something that you said slightly wrong, and then they sue you for perjury. But I didn't care about that. I wanted to. But the judge allowed them to go into everything that I was ever involved in, not this case, everything that I was ever involved in, which is a first. In other words, you could go into every single thing that I ever did. Was he a bad boy here? Was he a bad boy there? And my lawyer said, what do you need to go through? And all you wanted to do is testify simply on this case. In other words, I'll take a plea deal and I want to get off. And he wanted to make a deal with the Southern District. And they wrote the worst report I think I've ever seen on any human being, other than the report that was written on James Comey by the Inspector General, a very great Inspector General, actually, wrote a report that was so bad. This one was possibly worse. The Southern District, the judge didn't let us use it. He said, it's hearsay. I said, it's not hearsay. Wouldn't let us use it. This is about the man. Every company has non-disclosure agreements. But the press called it slush fund and all sorts of other things. Hush money.
Because the press is bought and paid for also, right?
Agreement.
They're all corrupt.
And
all of them.
Most of the people in this room have a non-disclosure agreement with their company.
Yep.
It's a disgrace. So it's not hush money. It's a non-disclosure agreement, totally legal, totally common. Everyone has it. And what happened is he signed a non-disclosure agreement with this person, I guess other people, but it's totally honest. You're allowed. And I've been treated very badly by two other judges also. And it
right,
all comes
it's all
out of the White
corruption
House.
at its finest.
Crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country. He's the worst.
Crooked Joe Biden. He's the worst president in the history of our country. Go to the grocery store. Check out the borders. Dude looks like the walking death. He's going to lose. No matter what these chums try to do, he's going to lose. Period.
President in the history of our country. The most incompetent.
Incompetent.
He's the dumbest president
He is dumb. He's an idiot.
He's the dumbest president, most incompetent president, and he's the most dishonest president we've ever had. And so many of he's a Manchurian candidate. You take a look at the way he treats China, Russia, so many others. You know, I ended the Russian pipeline. It was dead. He comes in and he approves it.
He's a joke.
I had great support from the Republican Party, though. Then you had impeachment hoax number 2.
It's a joke.
They formed the committee. How about they formed the committee of thugs? The J6 committee of thugs. And they took their records.
Committee of
and
thugs.
They destroyed all of the records after the committee was abandoned because those records were great for us. Now, can you imagine if Republicans did that? Everybody would have been in jail by now.
Yep, 100%.
Think of it, the unselect, I call it the unselect. They call it select committee. I call it the unselect committee of thugs. They meet. It's 100% Democrat and 2 past Republicans that are
Yeah.
no longer Republicans, that are no longer in business anymore. Thank you.
Right.
But it was all Democrats and two wayward Republicans, Liz Cheney and crying Adam Kinzinger. And they look like perfect soldiers. They're almost all male, from 19 to 25. It looks like a recruiting exercise. They have beautiful tents. They have propane stoves. They have cell phones, the best you can buy. I said, what's going on? It looks like they're building an army right in our country. Now, I don't think that would happen. And I don't mind, because I'm willing to do whatever I have to do to save our country and to save our country. I don't mind.
Yes. Because our country is gone. Gone.
So, thank you. So we will continue the fight. We're going to make America great again. Very simple. When people fight MAGA, they say, we're going to fight. I watch Biden. We're going to fight MAGA. We're going to stop MAGA. It's make America great again. That's all it is. MAGA. Make America great again.
Right.
Our country's in serious trouble.
Shambles.
We owe $36 trillion.
Joke.
We were energy independent for the first time ever. And now we're begging Venezuela for oil. One statistic you have to hear. Venezuela was crime-ridden. Caracas, the cities, crime-ridden. 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They just reported a 72% drop in crime in the last year, because all of their criminals, most of them, and the rest are coming in now, the ones that didn't come in Venezuela, their prisons have been emptied into the United States. Their criminals and drug dealers have been taken out of the cities,
Sick.
brought into the United States. And that's true with many other countries. The Congo has just released a lot of people from jail. Congo, Africa, just released a lot of people from their prisons and jails and brought them into the United States of America.
Fucking joke.
Than ever before. November 5th, remember, November 5th is the most important day
Yes.
in the history of our country. Thank you very much, everybody.
It's a crying shame what is going on. It's a joke. And if it can happen to him, it can happen to you. And oh boy, you trust me on that. But there's one thing that we can do about it. We can stand up and make sure that this shit stops. It's all about honesty, integrity, and then I'm all about digital assets. And Trump, it's a shame what they did. And I know he's for digital assets, so that's my guy, period. And Biden, that motherfucker can't even see straight. Period. Hey, if you're into crypto and you like XRP, click right here.